Yeah, nothing like good old military surplus rifles, especially American ones. And this military surplus rifle you've already seen in a video of mine. This is the model 1917 Enfield. These were based off of a British design. As you've seen in my other video, I've mentioned this. I figure we'll talk a little bit more about it today. Okay. Alright. At the outbreak of World War I, the United States was grossly unprepared. Didn't have near enough 1903 Springfield rifles to arm the massive army then in training. But what they did have the basic elements of a rifle they were building for the British, called the P14 or Pattern 1914 rifle, which was being made by Winchester, by Remington, and at the Remington plant in Eddystone, Pennsylvania. So instead of producing that same rifle in .303, they also made that rifle in .30-06, which became the U.S. model 1917. It was just those three plants which produced the rifle during the war, and slightly over 2 million were made. And in fact, more Enfields were issued to U.S. troops deployed to France during World War I than were Springfield rifles. So even Sergeant York carried the legendary Sergeant York carried the 1917 Enfield when he won the Medal of Honor. If you see the Cary Grant movie, or Gary Cooper movie where he portrayed Sergeant York in the movie, he's carrying a 1903 Springfield, not the 1917 Enfield. It's a simple bolt action strong Mauser design. Much like the Springfield, however, this rifle, instead of cocking on opening, will cock on the closing. Okay? There's not too many more of these around today, especially ones that have not been butchered, or chopped up. Especially ones that weren't arsenally rebarreled at the outbreak of World War II. Because in World War II, these rifles played a role as well. Again, we were grossly unprepared. Needed a rifle's a rifle, so they say, I guess. And these rifles did play a role at the outset of World War II as training, and even as far as participating in Operation Torch. A lot of mortarmen and artillerymen were armed with 1917 Enfields when Patton invaded North Africa. That also was involved in other theaters of war, training the Chinese army and arming the fledgling army of the Philippines under MacArthur. A very sturdy rifle, 26-inch barrel. Rear sight adjustable for elevation. Just a good rifle. It's like, this is probably why this is a good example of why I like military surplus rifles, especially older ones, like from the M14 and back, because you feel the heft of this rifle, and you have to consider the craftsmanship and workmanship that went into it to produce these in mass quantities. Was just amazing. Now all military rifles are basically modular in design, which in the long run makes sense, but yeah, it's just they're just, I don't know, kind of cold today. So alright, just want to give you guys a closer look at this one, as you've seen it in one of my other videos. Oh, and if you're curious, this one was made in August of 1918. Alright? As always, stay safe and support the Second Amendment.